What's going on, guys? It's Frank here with a best of 3 in the Tavern of the Storm. There's a tournament being put on by Tavern of the Storm. I don't think it's a Discovery Cup. You know what? Professional streamer here. TavernsMug. TavernsMug. That's what it's called. And we've got a best of 3 between you and Wriggle. Thank you very much, you, for submitting these replays. Our very first game is going to be on Lost Hope, and yeah, looks like we're going to be seeing early Infest out of Wriggle, which I am appreciative of. But if you's the one that submitted it, we're going to focus on you. Now I did skip ahead a little bit here, so the replays are like, this is definitely done building. Yeah, it's just the animation's still there because I skipped ahead as the structure finished. But alright, looks like the Hexen, you know, 0 for 2. There we go. Finally is gonna scout the Celestial base and then go back home. Which I think is a little bit overdue, honestly. Yeah, the conclaves have been up for a while. I think it's time to get those gaunts out and start getting that health camp. Alright, we see 2 prisms over here on the Therium. That one's already, that array's fully, it's maxed out on prisms. Quick Ascension Matrix, this is going to be interesting. Oh, the Ascension Matrix is going to be for the Vectors, though. Yeah, early Vectors are just terrifying for an Infernal. Just because, like, the 2 units that are a staple for Infernals are the Magmadon and the Hellborn, at least this patch anyway. But without the Magmadon and the Hellborn, you can't do much. And Magmadon and Hellborn really can't do a whole lot to Vectors. There's so many Vectors, and the AoE attack from... I mean, they're quick enough that they can run away from the Magmadons. They can kite the Magmadons to death. And the Hellborns do great bonus damage against heavy, and bonus damage against structures, but not so much against light units, which the Vectors are. This is another reason why I think in IVVs, in IVVs that Hedgehogs are really good against Infernals too, but we don't see that as much lately. Actually, I think Hedgehogs are better because they get that bonus to, that bonus damage to heavy. So yeah, we'll see, looks like Wriggle's doing a good job keeping the skulls over here, making sure that he's getting good vision of the Celestial base. Yeah. All right, energy camp going down. Boop. All right, but is it going to be a Hexen build? You was suggesting that I take a look at the vision camp in the center, so I did. Another health camp going down. Another one! In the words of famous hot wing wimp, not Wiz Khalifa, DJ Khaled. It's the KH. I remember the KHs. I should know better though. I'm not a huge hip hop head, but enough to know who they are. Alright, so Vectors with speed they actually look really cool. And they're zipping along here. They're looking for a bit of a zesty interaction. Yeah. And they're not gonna find it just yet. I think we're running out of time to be scary with the Vectors here. Because, yeah, the Gaunt count is going to start getting pretty high here. Okay. The Gaunts are actually still pretty good against Vectors. Not because they do bonus damage, because they barely do bonus damage. But the Infest. The Infest is really good. And look, all the Gaunts have been taken out. Granted, all the Vectors have Infest, so they're taking that damage over time. But they're cutting everything. Like, look, that big pack of Fiends, we're down to 3. All those Gaunts are gone. Yeah, look. The rest of the Gaunts are going to vanish. Magmadon's going to stomp on forward and get nothing done because it's too slow. You know, maybe once we get the, what is it called? The Grumpy Legs? What's that Magmadon? The tier 3 Magmadon upgrade. Raging Tendons, not Grumpy Legs. Raging Tendons. Maybe it'll be like more threatening to vectors after that upgrade comes out, but yeah. Oh, wait, was this all a setup to try and get to the? No, because he scouted that that Celestial was back here pretty early on. Maybe he thought there was just another expansion back there. Actually, I don't hate that. Opening up the map quite a bit to opening up the map to make sure that you can like go attack arrays wherever they are, and you don't have to like travel all the way around stuff on the mini map like this is pretty smart long term, just to keep your options open. And this is actually another reason why I think it would be cool to have some kind of ability, maybe from like a tier 3 unit. I don't care which faction it's from. It would have to be Infernals or Celestials though, where they can like sprout trees in the ground. Like right now, you can knock trees down, but being able to set up artificial chokes like that, I think would be really cool for some kind of spellcaster to have. Very far forward shrine here. Oh, yoinks! Yeah, get over here. The Weaver says in a legally distinct from Mortal Kombat voice. Whoa. Whoa, hey fella, you doing all right? There we go. All right. No, Purify goes down on a whole bunch of the vectors, and the vectors that can just like walk through the Purify and get cleansed of the yucky green infestation. Magmadon goes down. Yeah, the Weaver's not long for this world, and now we're just down to tier 1 units. No, there's another Magmadon coming on forward, but yeah, there's just simply not enough DPS. We do see, okay, there were a couple of vectors that went down. All right. Okay, it's not terrible. It's not terrible, but I think there was still a lot more Infernal that was lost than Celestial. It's just the efficiency of that trade was heavily favored for the Celestial. Alright, the Vectors did quite a bit of damage here to this shrine, but I think it's going to finish up. Yeah, it's almost finished up, but man, it is not looking healthy. Looking a little pallid. A little green around the gills, if you will. Okay, so we've got 1 array, 2 array, 3 array rock. Ooh, yeah, he used a bunch of spells there. He needs to regenerate some of that energy. But do we see any more? Yeah, there's another array. Not another one there. There's another array. Holy Luminite, Batman. You are gonna be flooded with Luminite here pretty soon. Not that he's not flooded with Luminite already. 1340, almost 1400 Luminite floated. He's looking pretty healthy economically, and even in terms of supply, he's ahead by almost. He's at 169 right now. Nice, but yeah, he's 59 supply ahead, which is pretty good. But Celestial supply can be kind of deceiving. Oh, Big Daddy Archangel's out. As if the, oh, I guess there were already a couple out, but as if there weren't enough to be scared of from the Celestial army, these Archangels are going to be able to absolutely delete worker lines or Gaunt Balls, but that's assuming that we stick with Gaunt Balls. Yeah, I think the Gaunts have not been working out so well against the Vectors. Now, you do get 2 Gaunts per charge, so when you hit the, I think it's the Z button, whatever button it is. I'm actually positive that it's the Z button when you select your when you have your macro panel up, your unit builder macro. Oh no, what's gonna happen over here, Vectors? Vectors show up and they've got their jumpy buff on. Okay, it finally goes away. Yeah, and they're just gonna slowly delete stuff. Are we gonna see a Super Stone go down though? No, we're not. There's not enough Animus yet. Okay, there might be now. I always forget if it's 30 or 40 Animus for a Super Stone to get dropped. I really appreciate these Shadow Flyers too, by the way. I don't know if the Shadow Flyers have been getting connections or not. They must have, right? Because I don't see where where would the Archangels be? Oh, there they are. Yeah. They got tickled a little bit by the Shadow Flyers. Alright, Shadow Mastiffs getting turned into Fiends. which is fun to see. And I'm loving how much shroud spread there is on the map too. This is really cool. Wriggle showing us how much benefit there is to having a lot of shroud on the map, and I think that's something that is kind of slept on a little bit. I know everyone wants to save up Animus to use on a dragon later on, but really there's a lot to be said for being able to regenerate white health, especially if you're the quote-unquote swarmy race. Being able to regenerate a lot of different units, a lot of units at once, is I mean, it can't be overstated how good that is. This is a lot of archangels, though. What is this? Seven archangels? Yeah, this is the Book of Revelation. Very cool. Oh, but do they have the spicy hit? Yeah, they do have spicy craters. All right, Vector's coming on over for another teleport. All right, they've got the teleport buff up. Yeah, and these archangels are going to try and do their best. Boom! Okay, yeah, so they managed to land without getting hit with too many of the Shadow Flyers. The Shadow Flyers aren't able to go down and explode on landed Archangels. The Vectors are going to swing on by, and now all of Wriggle's army needs to get back to the main quickly before everything gets reset. No, we're going to see a reset to Tier 1! Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, so the Elder Shrine is no longer, the Ritual Chamber is no longer... Whoa, I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know you could lash an Archangel that was in the middle of taking off. That was actually kind of cool to watch. Magdon's going to be able to stomp their way through another Archangel that was, I think, attempting to take off. So of those 7 Archangels that started the assault, 2 survive, and most of the Vectors survive as well. You know what? I wouldn't hate seeing an Arc ship over here just to be used as a healing Arc ship with like maybe a couple of power banks to keep it charged up. Yeah, there we go. We're seeing a couple of these Arc ships in the Jesus House. Keep the heals topped up. Oh man, more Archangels landing and getting great hits on these imps. Yeah, the supply disparity is just getting worse and worse. Yeah, these 2 Archangels desperately need heals. In fact, I'm surprised they're not just chilling inside of the health camp right now, right next to the Arc ship and the Arc Fortress, just to get healed up as quickly as possible because they're so expensive. But oh, we're gonna see a counterattack over here by a bunch of Gaunts and maybe a few Fiends. But yeah, none of these Link nodes are getting turned into static D. Oh, but the Celestial Nidus, the StarCraft 2 trophy, is getting morphed in here. And I wonder if that's because he wants to be able to, like, reinforce and... Oh, and he's got it charged, too, so it's going to be cloaked. All the Vectors are going to come by here. Yeah, the Harbinger's gone. Alright, but they just used their teleport, so they're not going to be able to get up there to reinforce anytime soon. These Trailer Park Girls are going to have to go around the outside. Meanwhile, towards the center here, more Archangels are getting damage done, but this is a lot of Infernal to deal with. And a lot of Infernal that not just does bonus to heavy, but these Weavers doing that max percent damage. Granted, it has been bracketed by between 5 and 200, so the minimum amount of damage Weaver will do is 5, and I believe the max it'll do is 200. But yeah, it won't reach that cap with an Archangel. Archangels are tanky, 750 HP, but the rule is that the Serrated Soul Knuckles that the Weavers have will do 20% of units' max health per hit. So as long as that unit is below 1,000 health, it's gonna be doing efficient damage. I'm actually very impressed that the Gaunts are getting damage done here. This is turning into a bit of a turnaround here, actually. Wriggle's fighting his way back into this game. Oh no, but the everything's popping out of the Aeon Gate to reinforce this array, which is damaged, but it wasn't taken out. Yeah, the array's still there. Everything's gonna pop back into that Celestial Nidus, and oh, is it going to be able to pop out somewhere else? No, the Infernals are going to come back and say, no reinforcements for you. Wait, was that the only one? No. There were more, right? Okay, there's another one. I was going to say, if everything that was inside of that Aeon Gate was trapped there, and that was the only one, and it all died, that would be Sad celestial noises. But look at this. Look at this infernal army. He's bringing it back. I thought for sure those early Archangel hits on the economy and resetting everything to tier 1 would be the death blow, but no, he's not taking this sitting down. And look at the supplies. The supplies are evening out. You, however, float like briefly floating 8k Luminite there. You could just hold down the Argent button and use it as cannon fodder if you really wanted to. Then again, maybe high unit counts aren't what you want in this matchup at the moment, because there's like the higher unit counts there are, the more fiends that are going to end up getting spawned. So maybe fewer, harder hitting units is the key to fighting an Infernal with a lot of infest potential here. All these vectors trying to gun down the well, actually, they're the ones that are getting gunned down by these Hellborn. Yeah, they're taking so much AoE damage, and I think they've got Molten Touch. Yeah, they do have Molten Touch. How upgraded are these Gaunts, actually? Gaunts are fully upgraded. Shadowflies do not have Swoop, but they're still useful to have. Oh, nice connections! Oh, but the Vectors are going to be able to defend. Yeah, that's quite a few Shadowflies to lose, and the Vectors are fantastic anti-air here. What a game! What a game so far. This is just game 1 of the best of 3. Thank you so much for this submission. This has turned out to be really cool. But yeah, Wriggle is just hanging on. I think I would have called it when the Archangels were landing in my base, but no, he's already got a lot of backup shrines. Where's his tech shrine? No, not there. It's not this one. Here we go. This one got turned into an Elder Shrine. I actually really like that. It's super far back in the corner. And, yeah, if he wants to assault this one, he's going to have to land Archangels, and then they're going to be way out of position for everything else. Another Aeon Gate goes down, and I think it's out of vision range of everything. Like, it's perfectly right in between these two Shroud Stones. No, but the Imps are going to see it. And they're going to build, yeah, they're going to build a single Shroud Stone. A couple of things are going to start smacking it, but everything pops out of that Aeon Gate. Shroud Stones are going to do what they can, but yeah, it's not going to be enough. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that Shroud Stone is going to go down, but I like that these two Morph Cores are being held in reserve here. Pop, pop. Archangels are going to take off. More Meteor Smashes. Alright, but now the Shadow Flyers are here, and there's not, like, taking off is going to be pretty ill-advised for those Archangels. Superstone does drop. It's going to start chipping life away at this Archangel, but the Archangel activates Avatar, goes up to 1150 HP, and then it ducks right back into the Aeon Gate. These Vectors are sticking around for a lot longer than I thought they would. Having to like take that damage over time, especially when it's like an AoE and damage over time, is pretty brutal for the, you know, quote unquote small units that the Vectors are. They're not that small, but they're numerous enough that the AoE damage over time is chipping quite a bit of health away. And now it's Wriggle that's in the supply lead. What am I watching? Okay, so Wriggle, I don't know if he knows that he can go on the offensive now, or if he's going to be a little bit cautious and he wants to keep getting his army built up. He certainly doesn't have to. But yeah, Wriggle doing a fantastic job of spending all his money. I wouldn't hate to see more production structures out of you just to chip down that all that Luminite. But yeah, this Luminite has already been spent. This Luminite has already been spent. Yeah, I think these arrays can afford to move on somewhere else. But man, remembering to do macro and remembering every single thing that you have to do macro-wise is, I think that's one of the things that separates the men from the boys when it comes to Stormgate is remembering exactly like everything that you have to do that isn't combat. The combat's the cool, flashy stuff. It's the stuff that gets people all hyped up. But I think you only get the cool, really big fights when you've got two opponents that are macroing really well. And I gotta say, these two have been doing a fantastic job. You know what? I wouldn't hate that Magmadon eating that cabbage. But that's one of those things where it's like, well, you know, he's Wriggle's a pretty busy guy right now. They're both doing their best to try and mine out this entire map. Oh no, are these Vectors going to catch the shrine? They will. There we go. They're going to start chipping away at it. Yeah, and the Infernal Army just isn't quick enough to go over there and catch up. I believe that was a cancel, not a kill. I might be wrong on that one. Ooh, Archangel getting more fantastic damage done. The Jesus House coming on forward to try to nuke down this shrine. Leaves it with 100 health. I think that means... oh, so many Shadow Flyers on that Archangel. Rinse and Pringles. Ay, 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 another Meteor Smash. Down goes the shrine. The Superstone still doing fantastic damage, though. And I think, yeah. Alright, well, at least it took out a shrine. That's still pretty good. Yeah, and Wriggle doesn't have... He's getting Luminite at a pretty quick pace, but still 350 when you're in triple digits is quite a lot. Oh no, Aeon Gates in the... Wow, how many... No, it's only 2 Sovereign's Furies. Yeah, and these Gaunts having to walk through everything. Oh, and the Vector's taking the fight off of Shroud, so they're not getting infested. It's fantastic. The Weaver's getting all focused down by the Vectors is pretty nice, but yeah, the Hellborn in the back is doing that AOE DOT is pretty good. LFG. All right, yeah, the array is just gone, and the Weavers being detectors is actually pretty cool. It prevents the... I know Shadow Flyers are the cheap option if you want detection, but the Shadow Flyers are just so squishy. Whoa! Oh, man. Come on, Shadow Flyer! There we go. I thought for sure that Shadow Flyer wasn't going to get good AoE. What? Why was there like a turbo mining effect there for a second? Anyway, yeah, this array is going to go down, and this is Yu's economy taking a huge hit. And now Yu's down into the double-digit supply. Wriggle's almost maxed out. I think it's time to go win, Wriggle. As that one old turtle would say, your time has come. Go for it. Gaunts, there we go. Get some more damage over time. Get some Infest on them. Yeah, Infest plus the... Infest and Molten Touch at the same time is just... That is a lot of damage. And there's the GG from you. Wow. Wriggle manages to bring it back from the brink. That was incredible. GG's, guys. On to game number 2. Alright, guys. Game 2 here between you and Wriggle in the TavernsMug tournament. And, yeah, what are we going to see? We're going to see the Hexen coming on up to the... Oh! Well, the Skull already comes by and sees the second array being built. I don't know if that was an attempt at being a little bit sneaky-beaky there, but not going to work. Surged up array is going to make sure that none of the prisms die, and then a surged the surged purifier is going to make sure that there's increased movement speed. I'm pretty sure that's what it does anyway. Yeah, plus 50% increased movement speed. Now I wonder if that affects the max speed as well, because the prisms, their passive ability is basically that it can it gets up moving up to 300% of the base move speed. So it'll get going up to move speed 6 eventually, but functionally that's just like a really slow acceleration. Now does this affect the max possible acceleration, or does it just is it just flat and then the max possible is still 6? I don't know. Questions without answers. Ritual Chamber finishing up here for Wriggle. Plague Axes immediately start. I appreciate that. I respect it. Imp holding the Spicy Rock. I'm going to check out the Infernal Third. Shrine's about to finish up. Yeah, and all is right in the world. Got a couple of imps, a couple of gaunts. Just chilling on the Shroud, getting as much of that white health as possible. The Hexen's just gonna waddle on back home, and they're going after the Speed Camp. Nice, nice, nice. I do appreciate casting that skull early, and actually using the skull for the Hexen once it's I keep forgetting about it. I basically just throw the Hexen away once it's once the Plague Axes are out, because it doesn't really have that much more potential, and I'm not good at using it as a spellcaster. But keeping skulls out on the map for vision is pretty good. I should probably start doing that more often, just like letting a skull hover over chokes or something. Here comes the Vector. Gonna do funny blink memes. Haha, so funny. That's interesting. That's right. Skyward Salvation stops once it's when it gets hit. I'm pretty sure, anyway. Yeah, let's see. Skyward Salvation. It's healing over time, but that heal over time, I noticed it vanishes when the Shadow Mastiff took a nibble. All right, Hexen and the boys walking around the map, just getting. No, they didn't. They didn't take the vision camp. I thought they would. We do see the Vectors coming on down, though. I think they're curious as to why the health camp hasn't been taken yet. Gaunts show up, but 6 Gaunts against 3 Vectors, I don't think goes favorably for the Gaunts. And they weren't standing on Shroud that whole time, so they didn't get any infestation stacks on them. Or they didn't proc infestation. Doesn't stack. No, there we go. A little bit of infestation on the Vectors now. Now they're taking some damage over time, which is nice. I believe it's 20 damage total that they take from an infestation stack. Yeah. Alright, health camp goes down easy peasy. And here come the Vectors. Vectors going to harass this, that last shrine. But they don't do a whole lot of damage to structures. Let's see, is Reaper's Rush? No, it's not done yet, but it's about to finish. Magadon stomping on forward, saying, "You can't stop me." There's only, there's only four or five of you now. 4 or 5 could present quite a problem if they're all focusing down a Magadon that's off of Shroud. But once he's on Shroud, he generates white health pretty quickly, which can be very problematic for a Celestial player. Scan up to the natural high ground. They're going to get this. Hellborn, they do manage to get it. Felhog's doing their best. Beast showing up a little bit late, but they're not able to get good surface area on the Vectors, and they all manage to blink out relatively safely. One getting a health cabbage, but the Gaunts, you don't want to be fighting off Shroud. There we go. Here comes a Brute. Yeah, I don't care if he has heavy armor. He's a Brute. And they're Vectors. So they'll just kite him to death and then, yeah, go home. Whoa, 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 Buster. Get out of this health camp. Alright, and then it turns into nobody's health camp. There we go. Gotta go back and get it. Alright, so U is up to 1, 2, 3, 4. No, not 4. Not for arrays, but I want to say this one doesn't even have prisms on it. No prisms there. 3 prisms there. 3 prisms there. Mining a healthy amount of Therium. Whoa, oh. Vectors all show up, and they're like, I really, really want this shrine. And there's not much that Wriggle can do about it. And it's not even a it's not even like it's like an access thing where it's a bunch of units trying to squeeze through that gap in the forest there. It's just the fact that Infernal units are slow. Infernal units are just slow. That shrine does get picked off, which is a bummer. That's going to be quite a long wait for Wriggle to get his 3rd back up and mining. Nice use of the skull there to capture the speed camp. Yeah, and really, like, Wriggle's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place here. I guess he could position his army and keep it right here if he wants to play super defensively and just be able to respond to absolutely everything. But these Vectors are good at a lot. They're fantastic anti-light, anti-air. So there's not like, it's not like you can tech into air and start picking them off. they're good enough anti... No! Okay, it was a cancel, not a kill. That's still really annoying because it's slowing down the, slowing down everything. Good stops coming on forward. Good lash. But look how long it's taking for those, yeah, these gaunts to DPS down and vectors. All the mags come forward. Clear out the rest of the forest, which is going to be nice. But again, that shrine had to get reset, and it's building once again. All right, so the gaunts are fully upgraded. Do we see... We don't see Molten Touch yet. Shatter is available. Restocking on Fiends here. I like it. Alright, but the vectors are coming across the map. Taking out an effigy. The Superstone is thrown down, but there's just so many vectors that it's not gonna... Yeah, it doesn't last long. Meat Farm's getting picked off. Imp's getting picked off. Yeah, and really, like, that's... What do you do here? It's not as if the gaunts can do enough damage to like, effectively challenge all these vectors. Purify going down, making sure that infestation doesn't actually affect anything. But you need your vectors to stay under the Purify beam for that to work. Ay, ay, ay. Fiends are gonna give chase. And everything else has to stay on the low ground. But they're staying mostly on Shroud, which is nice. Regenerating that white health so they can survive, you know, another hit here, and then as the vectors kite back and forth, maybe regenerate enough white health to tank another hit, and so on and so forth. Yeah, look at that. That's not much damage at all. That's being, like, that vector's just gonna sit there and keep getting hit by this Hellborn, and not much is gonna happen. So many Flame Imps tried to make the connection, but the one that actually got in melee range didn't have Flame On activated. Unfortunately, a lone Fiend is gonna follow these vectors around and get picked off. Hellborn on the front line, as everyone knows, is the current meta, is just keep your Hellborns in as vulnerable a position as you can get them. A couple of Archangels coming out now. All right, that spells disaster for the Imps, I think. All right, vectors getting good damage on this Magmadon, and Magmadon, to his credit, manages to tank a whole lot. Great AOE on the. Oh. Okay, now this is where the Hellborn shine. Are they going to be able to get this Archangel? 3 more show up just as his buddy dies. A couple of Magmadons down here at the front line, trying to get good connections. No, you need an FG like right here or something so that you can get more regen on that Magmadon. Yeah, these Archangels are causing absolute chaos here. Yeah, Gaunts are the worst possible unit to use against the Archangels, just because the Archangels are going to one-shot them when they're not in Avatar form. But that bonk stick is pretty brutal. Archangel getting caught in his fly animation there by the Magmadon Stomp. Okay, now we see Molten Touches online. So between Infest and Molten Touch, these vectors are going to be taking a lot of damage if they decide to go in, get infested, get the burn, and then duck back out to take max damage. But it's weird. It almost feels like the vectors just need to stand and fight if they want to be doing max damage. It's no longer about efficiency of like, oh well, we need to preserve the vectors. It's like, no, you're taking more damage by leaving and coming back. It's probably better to just stay there and fight straight up. But the vectors find so many imps. 2 meat farms where the Fell Hogs is not an effective defense. 1 flame on, 2 flame on imps. Nope, doesn't do much. 2 more flame on it. Oh, 2 more flame on imps! No! Alright, the Gaunts do manage to show up, though, and they're going to be able to get a couple of Infest stacks off. We've got to keep an eye on these vectors. Alright, I think this is getting rebuilt, right? This isn't being built for the first time, I think. I could be wrong on that one. Oh, Sovereign's Fury trying to hit this this Magmadon. Where's the effigy? Where's the effigy? There it is. Okay, yeah, just regenerating even a little bit of white health is going to be good. Archangel dives, but it's taking extra super damage from the Hellborn there. But the Bonk Stick manages to one-shot these Gaunts. Bop. Oh no, and I'm missing huge fights over here. A lot of connections, a lot of vectors coming on into the third. Oh, and Archangel's doing so much damage in this worker line. Ay. But this composition's mobile enough that yeah, the Archangels can just pick up, fly away. The vectors can fly back, can scoot back home. Oh, so many good meteor smashes there, just evaporating these Gaunts. A couple Avatar activations, but the Avatar, from what I understand, it degrades the amount of damage that it does in melee for in exchange for doing damage in a line. The Archangel does become a lot more tanky, but it's not as useful as an offensive weapon anymore. Oh no! And the Shadow Mastiffs helping kill off that Magmadon. Ouch. Alright, single strike node, shooing away a bunch of these imps. Okay, so what's left over for the army of you? We still see a lot of Archangels, but where'd that pack of vectors go? Here they are. Oh, getting great use out of that health camp. I love it. Alright, more Sovereign's Watch being used up here. And the Strike Node's trying to take on a Magmadon, but Magmadons are tanky boys. Down that goes, and the array's just next. But the Archangels are back. They wanna tango one more time. Are they gonna get some good meteor connects here? Bop, bop, bop. No, it looks like they missed a lot of them. Avatar activates on a lot of these Archangels, and 1, 2, 3 hits, 3 group hits, and they managed to take out that shrine again. And before the reinforcements show up, they decide to leave. A couple of good shots here with the Shadow Flyers, but yeah, look, these Gaunts are just basically tickling the Archangels. Not much is happening here. The pack of vectors comes back, and they're going to start attacking this, what, 4th? Yeah, the 4th. Flame on Imp! No, but the vectors managed to blink out before it's managed to connect. Another shrine gets caught. 2 more Archangels meteor smashing down. The vector pack decides to stay back. But no, they need to jump forward. These Archangels are going to be taking max damage from these Hellborn. Well, nearly max damage anyway. Yeah, I think the vectors would have been a better choice for that, especially if they blink on top of the Hellborn. And I don't know if saying like magic box is the correct term if you're doing it for ground-based units, if you're doing it with ground-based units, but kind of the same thing. Just not staying clumped up and really surrounding all the Hellborns so that they don't get good shots with the their, I don't know what the focused hatred, I think it's called. Yeah, focused hatred. That is a lot of vectors. Alright, a couple of prisms going over to get some Therium, and yeah, the map is effectively cut in half, but it seems like Yu's been doing a much better job at harassing here, keeping Wriggle on his toes, not knowing where the next attack's going to come in yet. Sees a scan go down next to his workers at the Therium location, but that might be just to drag units over there. The vectors do show up over at the 3rd again. Imps managed to evacuate pretty quickly though. So yeah, the shrine's gonna go down once again. Ay. That's so annoying. And Wriggle barely has enough Luminite to rebuild it if he really wants to, but I don't know if he wants to. There's another scan that goes down. No, here come the Archangels. Archangels pouncing on these Hellborn. Absolutely evaporate all of them. Man. Bunch of avatar activations here. Yeah, this is just a celestial AoE fiesta. Vectors managed to get in the main. Yeah, and they're going to start taking down absolutely everything. All these production structures, the tech structures are going to go down as well. This shrine's going to go down. Yeah, and 134 of Wriggle supply to use maxed out army, I think is kind of telling the tale here. We're going to see GG's here any second now. The Elder Shrine manages to stay up. That's kind of surprising, but the yeah, through all of that, what was lost for you? 10 supply, not even. Oy. I wouldn't even call that a trade, to be honest. That was just so much damage done. Like, look what's left in the main. There's basically nothing left in the main. GG from Wriggle. Yeah. And, yeah, you ties it up 1-1. On to game 3. What's up, guys? It's Frank here with game number 3 between Wriggle and you on the Tavern. Oh, no. Sovereign's Watch already going down. Putting you into red power, but taking out the Hexen as well. Starting off with a bang here. And I think this array, yeah, this array is finished. It's just me skipping forward that caused it to be stuck in that still under construction animation. So we see a third on the way for Wriggle. And it looks like the third finishes... Actually, this is going to be the third. Interesting. Anyway, so it looks like both of these players want to get their ecos up and running. But yeah, Yu's in a bit of a tough position now, activating that Sovereign's Watch down into red power effects, construction time, and build time. Still, even like, okay, now he's on green power. I was gonna say, even being on yellow power, trying to pump out units is gonna be kind of difficult. Oh, that's actually really funny. Like, is it better to surge a building for the training time boost, but if it puts you on yellow power, or is it better to just stay on green power? I need someone, one of the chat guys, to do the math for me. Crunch those numbers, if you would please. Yeah, this is rough. Like, you don't have Infest. Yeah, Ritual Chamber isn't close to being done. It's kind of close to being done, but yeah, there's no Infest potential right now. This is brutal. Those early fiends are just so... Oh wow! What a Matrix dodge out of that Shadow Mastiff. Like, if it looked like the brute did his pinata pop, and both of the fiends like managed to dodge it. That was actually pretty cool. 2 vectors being able to take out a speed camp is both terrifying and cool to watch. Okay, I'm getting word now that it is, if you are on the fence between having yellow power but surging your production structure or staying on green power, it is a... Green power increases production time by 20%, but surge increases it by 25%. So thank you so much, number crunchers in the chat. That's coming directly from you, actually, the Celestial player that's in this game. So thank you. Of all the names, man. Of all the names. Incredible. Okay, how far along is... Okay, so Infest is here. It's online. Ruination, though. Ruination's really tough for... I would say really tough for Infernals. That's just me being, like, an Infernal whiner. Even though Infernals are a little bit OP this patch. The fact that there's no health camp really hurts. Like, not having any way to regenerate core health is... kind of a bummer. Not that it matters. You know what I've never noticed? That there's like these glowing bits that are like right here that really pop out on Ruination. It's not just the center part of the turret, but there's like I don't know, like little slits that glow as well. They look really cool. All right. These vectors are going to get to the high ground, and then, yeah, they're gonna, yep, they jump down, and they're gonna start massacring these imps. The imps do get pulled. Felhogs are gonna do what they can to protect, but, okay, they do manage to buy a little bit of time. Oh, but the vectors managed to recall at the very last second. Reaper's Rush isn't quite done yet. which is actually going to be a big deal against the highly mobile units as the Vectors are. Just being able to get over and reinforce a position that's under attack with your Gaunts is going to be very helpful. And I suspect that's the last upgrade we're going to see out of the Ritual Chamber. Twilight Spire coming up, so we're going to be getting up to tier 3 here. I don't want to say soon, but eventually. Okay, and now with the, yeah, it looks like Yu is taking his parade of Vectors through the Haunted Forest there. And is going to backdoor into the, into the natural, the corner natural of Wriggle. And is going to start doing so much damage to all these imps. How many workers are going to go down, I wonder? A lot. The answer is a lot. And the army is nowhere to be seen. Even though Reaper's Rush is done, the Gaunts aren't going to be getting there fast enough. Yeah, and keeping that scan up just to know when the opponent's going to show up is so helpful. The Shrine does go down. This is so much damage. Ooh, Lord. Ooh, Lord. Get the cabbage. Get the... Oh, my gosh. I'm going to do a front flip with my headphones on one of these days. Doesn't matter. There's another shrine down, but it's not a dual Therium Luminite shrine, so that's kind of a bummer. The Vectors are coming back for a second helping. They were like, you know what? We had the main course, but now we want dessert. Or do they? They're just gonna chill in the haunted forest and look at these circling scary birds. There we go. Thank you. Okay. I got younger. I get younger by, 3 months every time someone gets the cabbage when they walk past it. But then I age 3 years when people walk past it and they don't get it. It's like a weird cabbage-based vampirism. Okay, I don't think he sees... Yeah, he doesn't see this shrine on the low ground. But... really, Wriggle has been pretty successfully contained. Yeah, he's keeping all of his Gaunts over here. He knows that there's just so many Vectors out on the map. He can't afford to be moving out. These poor imps are just gonna get caught. Yeah, there's just no hope for him. Oh, well, I say that, but the Gaunts do manage to show up. They are gonna start applying Infesta stuff. Oh no, but the Archangel's out. The Archangel though is getting focused by the Weaver, which was doing percent max health, and yeah, that Archangel took a beating. Superstone goes down on the low ground though. All right, Infest does get on that Arc. Wait, how did that Archangel get all that health back? Did I miss something? He was down to like 2 bars of health. Speaking of funny usernames, thanks. I appreciate the raid. Thanks. We're watching a best of 3 between Wriggle and Yu. Alright, so this is... I wouldn't call that saturated. Especially the Therium. Man, the conga line. The Therium conga line is pretty rough. Couple of Hellforges going down. We've got the Angry Legs for the Magmadons coming out. Wow, there was some serious healing going on with the Skyward Salvation. That was a lot of stacks of Skyward Salvation, actually. Oh, is he gonna get... You gotta get the... There we go. Now they can really start zipping around. Oh, and the zestiest landing of all for this, for the Archangel. Lands, takes out quite a few imps. How many bodies is that? Can you see the number of skeletons? Yeah. Look at all those skeletons. Felhog doing his best to get a couple of swipes in. Good boy. Now these Archangels need to go back to recharge. One Archangel is accompanying these Vectors though, and I actually really like that. I think keeping an Archangel as Overwatch, just in case there's a big ball of Gaunts that shows up, having an Archangel be able to do a Meteor Smash to eliminate a lot of that threat is a good it's a good pairing. It's good synergy. Ooh, buddy, though, what's inside of here? I don't know that Gaunt Mag drops work against Celestials, right? Because there's none of their workers are on the ground. So the stomps for the Magmadon, like the Infest Stomp combo, doesn't make sense to me. I would personally prefer to see oops all Gaunts inside of these Harbingers, but That's just me. Alright, gonna have a bit of a disagreement here. The Fiends show up to retake the camp, and the Vectors effectively argue their point. Oh man! Oh, these Archangels doing damage. Okay. Oh, but the stops are gonna come on forward, and they've got the angry legs, so they can do all kinds of damage to these Vectors without taking much. But man, the meteor smashes here in the back line. Gaunt's are gonna try to do what they can against these Archangels, but they're just so tanky. We've been doing a fantastic job chunking down these chunking down health from these super tanky Archangels. Whoa, I like that Nightfall Infestation. The fact that it landed as they were flying over buildings was really cool. But it is going to run out. It does get effectively chased back, though. Small flock of Shadow Flyers flocking around up there. Oh, but Yu's taking this the ninja base, which I really like. And do we see? Yeah, the other array's also been taken in the corner here. That's actually really nice. Not necessarily that Yu. Well, he is actually. He's got so much Therium. He just needs a lot more Luminite right now to continue building and maxing out. But yeah, taking it's really nice, but depriving your enemy of it is even nicer because they're gonna come by and. Holy static D, that's a lot of strike nodes. Yeah, I guess there's really not much that no, why? Why? Don't not the Gaunts. This Harbinger needs to make up its mind with what it wants to do with its life. Oh, Mom told me I could be anything, so I became cannon fodder. No, Hellborn, what are you doing? Meanwhile, yeah, this Therium Purifier is getting taken out, but I think Wriggle's just... no, we've seen Wriggle pull it back before. But Wriggle is... He's got... To say that he's got an uphill battle ahead of him, that's 150 supply worth of uphill battle. The Vectors are going to get great surrounds here. They're going to absolutely delete these Gaunts. Hellborn are quick to follow afterwards. And there's the GG. Yu takes the best of 3 series 2-1 against Wriggle. Thank you so much for the submissions, guys.